Viral Invasion is here. Soon it shall be doomsday for the digital world. The AVAULT store has been infected with the newest playmat. I have all the prices, and it is your chance to get virus level discounts before it is too late. Time is ticking, and all will be gone when the final countdown reaches 0.
Okay, so our very first game of Omnimon, we're also playing against Lugamon, which has the Kazuchi and the whole entire new DNA where they can go crazy. But anyways, with our opening hand, we normally want to see rookies and tamers. That's really sort of the main core engine that we kind of play. You guys saw we didn't really see that. We have tamers, but everything else is megas. That's totally fine. You know, we want to go for the rookies because not seeing the megas later is okay, because then we can search. All our rookies kind of give us the draw power and the search power that we need to find those pieces. Now, one of the key things about this deck, it's kind of nice where it can kind of go first or second, but with the new Lugamon deck, got to be very careful because it can potentially turn to OTK out of nowhere. It rarely happens, but it does happen sometimes. So just play around and sort of know your matchup, and depending on how you want to go first or second. The Omnimon deck so far that I'm playing playtesting is just super versatile here. With our mulligan hand, it looks a little bit better. We have Gobumon to work with. Gobumon helps us draw cards, and then we can able to set up the Tie and Mat Tamer as soon as possible, and then playing the Mega Knight option card, which is absolutely phenomenal and really crucial to the deck. And setting up early is really good because it lets us play a Agumon or Gobumon from hand or trash for free, and that's how we want to get searching, and we can effectively play around the memory gauge very nicely thanks to this card. And it has a delay effect, which we're going to get to showcase later on as well. Now, it looks like the opponent's trying to set up a little bit. They're trashing cards a little bit, but it looks like they're missing a level 4 and they pushed out already. And we're missing a few pieces ourselves as well, which is why I decided to promote with the Gabu, just so I can start a main draw 1 and just so I could chip away and have the Koromon egg underneath so then I can draw a card. Here I'm in a position where, like, I know they have a Cracker Fang, which puts them to 3 memory anyways. I'm deciding if I want to just play my own memory setter or if I want to play the new Tai Ankari, which I actually do prioritize doing. You guys might be wondering, why am I not like effectively using the memory there? It doesn't matter anyways, but the main core important reason why I play Tai Ankari is Tai Ankari has that end of turn effect. I get a bomb deck and draw a card. I need to find my pieces. Really important. I need to find my pieces to play, so then I can draw. Any draw I can sort of utilize is really crucial there. Of course, like, it's not memory efficient, but I need that extra card. So I felt like I didn't really need the Tai Ankari later, so now I have a memory setter myself. I got double Tie Mat on the board now as well. Playing the Mega Knight Fusion, not Mega Knight Fusion, but Mega Knight option once again to search. Now, this is another choice I'm going to have to make. I was deciding, hey, do I want to grab the Greymon? Because the Greymon is one of the most versatile cards of the deck. It's the only level 4 of the deck, as a matter of fact, which can help us choose between what we can go into some very nice mid-game combos. But I decided to go for the War Greymon because I feel like I'm ready to go. I have pretty much everything I need except for the Omnimon. Now, notice how I'm mentioning Omnimon. The idea is that you want to slap down your Metal Guard, and then your Metal Guard is going to let you slap down like a War Grey and so on. Even though you don't have the Omnimon in hand, it's always about that ace mind game. Always that bluff. You want to play it as if you have it. You need to slow down the opponent. They're set up on the trash on their side on the end. They're ready to go. If I don't do anything to stop them and threaten them at this moment, they can just go for the full combo and I am just completely gone. I only have 3 security left against theirs. And yeah, Kazuchi Luga combo is just insanely explosive. So I went to the BT17 Raid War Grey that can like sort of warp and swing over and do piercing damage and all that kind of stuff. Checking into the analog U was kind of a little bit unfortunate because it really helps them set up even better. At this point, we can see that they're ready to go, and we got kind of lucky there, honestly. We managed to top deck and draw into the Omnimon Ace. So by drawing into that Omnimon Ace, now we can actually showcase you guys what it's like to threaten it. Now, our opponent doesn't know whether we had it or not initially, so we're there. We're basically gonna go through that combo. They have to go through it for it anyways because they always think we have it. If they don't do anything this turn, then we're just gonna go into ourselves anyways the next turn, just by regular DNA, and we basically take out everything and basically finish them off because they also saw us grabbing the Alter B. So here they're just gonna go climb all the way up, which is crazy insane. And they get the DNA, Fenriluga, play out Kazuchi, and then the DNA into Takemi Kazuchi, and then they're gonna attempt to DP reduce, which is mandatory. So by DP reducing one of our Digimon, we can utilize the Mega Knight option card to DNA right away with the 2 Metal Gar and the Wargrey on the board, and they get to resolve all their effects first because it's still their turn. They get to, you know, get the memory and all that, but we are gonna bottom deck their stack, and then we just basically delete their Tyrannomon. That's insanely good with this new Omnimon Ace. I absolutely love it. The effect is just insanely crazy, and here we're basically secured. They only have 3 security left. I'm not gonna chip away with the Omni Ace just to be careful that they might have a big body in the security, which Takemi Kazuchi is big, so we go for the Gabu attack first, so then we can use Alter B to go on top of Omnimon, and then we're just gonna finish the game off by trashing the 3 sources, Omni, Metal Gar, and Wargrey, trashing rest of their security, and swing for game. Alright, so for the next matchup, we are up against Ancient Gar, Blue Hybrid, got lots of new support, and a really fast, powerful, consistent aggro deck as well. So here we are going second. I decided to keep my hand. Ideally, like I mentioned before, we kind of want to see rookies plus tamers to sort of get a better setup, but I felt like, you know, with the Gabumon and Agumon, and we're going second, I felt like I can kind of draw into the pieces that I want to find instead. So I decided to Digivolve into Gabumon. Ideally, you guys might be thinking I could have Digivolved into Agu and then to Gray and then put my opponent to at 1 instead. Well, the reason why I kept the Agu is because I wanted to go into Greymon later to answer the Uko at the back. And then also later on with the other Agu from BT17, I could utilize it to grab the Greymon back if I need to keep playing a low end cycling count just for the time being here until I find the rest of my tamers. So that's sort of my game plan. But you guys can see it kind of changed because I managed to find the Agu to surge and grab a piece. Unfortunately, bomb decking the Alter B, but we find another one in trash, which is going to be fine because we can play another, get it back with the Agumon effect later on. So we go into Greymon just to pop their stuff and try to also establish momentum and try to draw as many cards as we can here at this moment. Again, I'm going to try to attempt to chip away and draw a card off Koromon. That's the main goal. I was contemplating on attacking over the Strabby, but here I felt like there was a way to get rid of it anyways because I could just Digivolve the Gabu for 3 costs and put them back at 1 and then just delete the one with the Wanya Inheritable just to prevent them from drawing as many cards and trying to gain their momentum as well at the same time. So we're sitting in okay but slower position, not finding tamers, but this deck can still operate and run very well without it. Meanwhile, looks like they're trying to find their tamers or set up their tamers and set up their pieces and probably try to go for an explosive turn with Ancient Gar, which can be very dangerous for us. So we are going to promote, and with Agumon we can grab the Alter B back. This is fantastic because it's a very important win con card that I really like in this deck. So we're going to start controlling the board a little bit. We're realizing there's sort of like Strabby Uko chipping us away, setting up for lethal, and we also need to do the same and try to establish as much momentum back at them as possible and give them as little memory to work with too, which is why I established the tie and mat. And then hitting that Tai Kamiya, that's memory setter earlier from our security, was also really fantastic. But it's kind of dangerous because Ancient Gar can go pretty crazy here, and as they Digivolve, they can gain memory back up. You guys saw they also have Hammer Spark. They can potentially go into the new Lobo and warp into an Ancient Gar and start doing things essentially. And by doing that, they can even like make us add security, but they're kind of like, seems like in a little tricky spot. They're not finding exactly the pieces they need, so it looks like they're attempting to go into Beowulf. But going into Beowulf is kind of nice because they can get kind of Digivolve for free effectively here. and then they can sort of see in if they want to follow up. Koji is really good with the new one as well because it gives them a lot of value as they're attacking into us. But with our security, Tai is even better value. Double Tai right here, memory setter is really great. They end off the board with a ancient guard, just bouncing the lowest level that we have, which is the Agu, which is fine. And there's no security to add anymore. We're down to 0. It's kind of tight for us. It's like we're about to lose this game, but don't worry guys, you guys saw crazy combos are going to be coming with this real soon. We're finding enough pieces. Our hand is looking pretty healthy at this point. We have options. We can think of how to play this. I was wanting to play one or the other, the War Gray or Metal Guard, contemplating on which one, but at the same time I was trying to see if there's a different line of play that I can sort of find, maybe potentially just before doing that, because I need to put them at as little memory as possible. So I'm going to chip away with this Greymon, which is absolutely fantastic for us. Koramon's going to draw a card, and on deletion we get to play the Tai and Mat for free off of its effect. And by doing so now, we're actually able to put them to 1 memory only. So by playing the War Greymon, reducing the cost by 3 for 8 only, we can actually Digivolve into Metal Guard, and then we can suspend both Tai and Mat to gain essentially 4 memory back, putting them down to 1. And by doing so, the reason by putting them to 1 is because we need to stop their attacks. We need to stop them from going into hybrid for game, right? Because we have 0 security, we can really only interrupt 1 attack, and that's about it. We can really interrupt and block, and then we can really see from there. We don't want to give them extra memory. We saw Hammer Spark, they can gain memory as well. They're also having the Koji that is unblockable at the same time. So if they're able to trigger that and get all those kind of effects going, our Omnimon's not going to be able to stop it. So here, we didn't end of turn DNA because we want to force the opponent to make the decision. Instead, we're going to blast into Omni Ace over on top of our Metal Guard with War Gray as well from our hand. Potentially, we have a second one which can interrupt them all over again, although we don't have it in our hand. But once again guys, remember, play as we do. We're just missing Metal Guard and we can potentially actually do it. So it looks like with that little bit of memory, they can really only just go for the ancient option card, which lets them grab pieces back and play something for reduced cost. They get to Digicross into Metal Guard, but only bouncing the War Gray, which is really important there because then it doesn't bounce our Omni. Our Omni wouldn't get Ace Overflow on them. So here we can just go straight into our finalizing finishing combo into Alter B on top of Omni, trashing our sources. Even with Ace Overflow, it doesn't matter because we swing for game. Alright, next game we're going to be facing off against Omnimon and the 3 Great Angels. So looking at our opening hand here, I mean, I did mention throughout the entire course of the games, we want to see a Rookie and Tamer. That's kind of okay, but I felt like, I could see a little bit better. Maybe 2 Rookies would be more ideal, just because I felt like, if we rely just solely on that Gabumon and then we Digivolve in the back and draw a card, and that card is not able to sort of keep our momentum going, I feel like then the game is basically just kind of over for us. It's nice to see the Omnimon and Alter B in our hand early kind of thing, but those are those cards that you want to find later on anyways, because we can't really utilize them too much early stages. The hand looks a little bit better here as well. That's, that way I can sort of go for the Tai and Mat if I want to, go for a Gabu to search if I want to. Honestly, the hand is somewhat similar at the end of the day. So here they're going to go off the typical combo Patamon TK, and I'm just contemplating if I should put them at 1 by playing the Gabu to search, or should I actually just set up the Mat and Tai early, use its value more, right? Because I'm not going to have an opportunity to always play them for free or via the effects. I'm not going to have the luxury of that. So I felt like, just to make sure that I'm still in the game and able to utilize them, they're just really important to enable us to play and do a bunch of stuff that we want to with our DNA, with our Omnimon combos, with Metal Guard and War Gray. So our opponent chips into us, checks into the Mega Knight Fusion card, but the Mega Knight Fusion card security effect only lets us play a Tai and Mat from our hand or trash, and then we get to add it to hand. We don't get to set it as a delay effect. So at least it's that kind of nice, because then we can actually use it to play our Gabumon like that. So by playing the Gabumon, we can start searching for some pieces and finding some nice cards. Now we can Digivolve into the Agumon in the back and draw, and then we can actually play another one. I could choose to play the 3 memory to play it all, and then they have its memory setter TK anyways, but I felt like, let's set up another additional Mega Knight, which wouldn't be harmful anyways. But usually, we only really need to utilize 1 throughout the game, in most cases. So setting up 2 is nice, but it's not always necessary. So we had that kind of choice and option there. But you know, continue to cycle and find pieces is what we need to do. So then we can go for that. Now, if I knew our opponent was going to chip us away and we were going to check into the, you know, Mega Knight option card, then I wouldn't have played a Playmat during right off the bat. But hey, you know what, hindsight 2020, you don't know exactly. But this is gonna go crazy because now they're gonna go set up and they're gonna go up into their stack. The Gato combo with the Magna Ange and the Omnimon is just absolutely insane. It has barrier, it has protection, and this is actually one of the key weaknesses of the Omnimon Ace deck and the DNA deck, because it's actually not very good at dealing with decks that have inherent protection, especially with Omnimon. Omnimon can protect like multiple times and all that, and it's just really, really good when it comes to it. So we're kind of forced into a difficult situation. They cleared our board and we only have Agumon to work with. At least we can pick up the Omnimon from trash, which is good because now we actually have the pieces to go online and do all the combos. So I'm contemplating, do I want to Digivolve into the Greymon just to, you know, try and force them to trash their security as much as I can. That way I can still also get an extra draw, and I can also suspend the Playmat if I want to gain the memory. So I'm going to attempt to delete their Magna Ange because I have my Greymon is 8k, but they're going to, of course, going to protect it. Now I can hard slam the Metal Gar. Metal Gar is going to let me warp my Greymon into Wargrave because the Greymon is also treated as an Agumon name, thanks to this new effect. This new Greymon is just really cool. There's so much versatility, but then we get to showcase it a little bit here, which is nice. And we're gonna attempt to pop their Magna Ange again because we can delete an 8k. Here, I'm actually contemplating if I want to do the end of turn DNA. I felt like I want my opponent to play reactive. I want to play reactive, and I want my opponent to make the decision instead. Now, looking back, reviewing the game as I'm watching this now, I kind of felt like maybe I should have actually DNA'd during my own turn to force them to trash more of their security. And by doing that, then they will have none left. My understanding is that with Omnimon Ace, when it comes out, it's gonna bottom deck the level that I'm gonna choose with all of it, which I'm gonna choose Domini, and then I get to delete something afterwards. They're gonna have to trash 2 security to protect the 2 different instances. I'm not entirely sure, but let me know in the comments. That's my thought process during the game. And at least if I did that, they would have no security to work with, and they wouldn't really be able to climb all the way up from the Pada Angemon and the Magna Ange into this Cherubi and actually like DP reduced by 12k on my Metal Gar here. Thankfully, they actually chose that because then I can actually use the Mega Knight option card to DNA into Omnimon Ace from my hand with the Metal Gar on the board and the Wargrave from my hand as well. And then here when the decision trying to decide how we want to clear their board. Now, of course, like I mentioned earlier, if I try to attempt to delete anything or remove anything that's the Angel related, Omnimon is going to protect it. So in the end, I felt like just to get rid of the smaller bodies that they can't protect, I got rid of the Gato and the Kudamon to stay in the game as much as I can. Here, by doing so and having the Wargrave on the board, we are still playing as if we might have a second one that we can get into. We can still potentially threaten another ace. Now, I know you guys can see that we don't have it on our hand, but like I always mentioned with the ace game and the whole Digimon card game now, it's just really cool. You can play like as you're bluffing and play it as if you had it anyways. So they're gonna hard slap the Angemon and then sort of like take a security and a recover, and then they can alliance with Cherubi Ace as well for massive damage, double checks as well, and then minus 6k to our Omni and trash the source because the Angemon Inheritable basically takes away source off our Omni Ace, which is a little bit of a tough situation. Now, they probably read us by now that we might not have a second one, or if there was a reason that we don't blast DNA again, they're gonna go for a safer route. They're gonna play another Domini by using the physical training, getting into it, and then play out another Angemon and then try to attempt to swing. We're gonna have to block here at this point. Unfortunately, we can't stop any other further attacks, and then we're gonna give them the Ace Overflow. Maybe if I was trying to play mind games, maybe I should have let them attack and then force them to make that final decision. But still, they're being really smart. They're playing as if we had another one and being as careful as possible, because in this moment they only have 1 security left. And with 1 security left, that means they can only protect with 1 instance with Omnimon. Now, this comes back to us here. It does look pretty doomed, but thinking about it, it's not all that doomed. We might still be able to push this by a little bit. Gonna play another Mega Knight option so that I can play the Gabumon. In hindsight, I should play the Gabumon from trash. I just instantly play the one from the hand, but it doesn't make too much of a difference at this point, and suspend the time mat to gain the memory back. And then we can Digivolve into the Greymon at this point, trying to find the last piece. But hypothetically speaking, with the amount of cards that we have, let's just say we do have another Metal Guard and another Omni Ace that we can work with, we can actually clear their board and we can actually stop them here in this moment, because now they only have one security left. What I would actually do is when they swing on us, if I Blast DNA, I would go into Metal Guard, Omni Ace. Omni Ace is gonna attempt to bot deck the Cherubi Ace. They're gonna have to protect with Domini, and then I'm gonna attempt to delete the Cherubi Ace as well, and then they have no security left to protect, meaning it will pass the turn back to us. But unfortunately, as you guys can see, we didn't have it, so the Angels take it on us this time. Don't forget to grab your very own copy of the Viral Invasion Playmat on the AVAULT store right now. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video, and this is AVAULT signing